it's a natural conversation around them should be too. This Menstrual Hygiene Day, Radio City and Team Alembic, the makers of Krina NCR, invite you to join an open discussion on menstrual health, hygiene, and understanding your body better.
Hello and welcome to the Period Talks with Experts, where we talk openly and honestly about women's health. Because understanding your body should never feel uncomfortable. I'm your host Niranjan Mhatre, and today we are going to discuss a topic which affects every woman in this planet. It is surrounded with myths, silence, and hesitation, menstrual health, and hygiene. We are also going to talk about topics like what is considered a normal period, what is heavy bleeding, when to seek a medical advice, and common gynecological concerns which should not be ignored. Joining with us today is Dr. Rachna Kaveri. She is a practicing gynecologist with years of experience in women's health. Thank you for joining us, doctor, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a great honor to be a part of this. Also, it's a great initiative, first of all. Menstrual health typically is associated with a lot of taboo in our country, a lot of myths around it, which is why it's very important, these conversations. So it's absolutely an honor to be a part of this.
So, doctor, let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
Many women still wonder what is normal menstrual cycle.
Right. The most important question, I would say. So to know what is abnormal, you have to also know what is normal, right? So menstrual cycle can typically be anywhere between a 21-day to a 35-day cycle. And the bleeding that is associated can be between 2 days to 7 days. Anything less than that or more than that is abnormal, or at least a variation which needs to be understood and considered what it is. Apart from that, the flow is also a very important thing. So typically, if 3 to 4 days of bleeding, when you change 3 to 4 pads, is normal. Any kind of heavy bleeding which requires for you to miss your work, makes you feel extremely uncomfortable, makes you feel giddy, dizzy, is not normal and requires investigations. Another very important factor that not a lot of people know or they usually consider normal but is not is pain. So mild pain, a little bit of cramping is okay, but any kind of pain that would lead to women or young girls even missing school is not normal, requires investigation. A lot of women sleep on it for years until they figure out that there's actually been a major problem inside.
So you're saying that every women's cycle is slightly different, but a slight variation should not get ignored.
Correct. So each woman has a very specific cycle. It will be different from me and another woman, but it's usually the same for each woman. Some variations, some one-offs in some cycles are okay, but constant variations and anything constantly being different is your body trying to signal for help, which is what a lot of women should understand. And for that, it is most important to track your cycles. Once you track your cycles, you know what is different and what is wrong, and then you can actually go to the doctor and get help.
Let's talk about menstrual hygiene. Even today, many girls receive incorrect or wrong information about their first period. In fact, this issue has been addressed at a national level. Even Supreme Court of India has emphasized the importance of menstrual hygiene and facilities at school level. What is the basic menstrual hygiene that a woman should follow?
Yes, that's correct. The Supreme Court recently directed the state authorities to improve access to menstrual healthcare facilities in terms of sanitation and sanitary products to be available at school. The court has also said that menstrual health and dignity is directly related to Article 21, wherein it's linked with both the dignity of life and right to life. So basically, the highlights of menstrual health is not only a medical issue, but is also connected to education, confidence, hygiene, and equal opportunity for each girl. Coming to hygiene practices, there are a couple of things which we can do to reduce the chances of infection. So, few simple practices like changing sanitary pads every 4 to 6 hours is very, very important. If you're using a menstrual glove, cleaning it every 4 to 6 hours is also important, and following instructions on the labels. Not using any kind of harsh products or soaps to clean the genital area, cleaning the area with clean water, wearing breathable cotton underclothes are very, very important and simple tips which you can use to maintain menstrual hygiene and health. Also, importantly, understanding that periods are not dirty and the period blood is just the normal blood coming out with the endometrium becomes very important so as to not feel shameful or discriminated because of periods.
It's such an important point wherein menstrual hygiene is not only a personal issue but a social issue as well.
Yeah, true.
So many women continue working, exercising, or doing a lot of stuff when they are into their periods. So, is it okay to have physical activity during those times?
Oh, absolutely. I have so many patients who uh, lift weights, swim during their periods. It really depends on the comfort level of that person. But for most of us, light stretching exercises, basic traveling, work, all of that is completely normal, nothing to be scared of. In fact, a little bit of exercise promotes release of the happy hormones, reduces period cramps, and makes it easy for that woman to go through that period. So, absolutely, yes.
Doctor, another thing which people do not connect with menstrual health is nutrition. So, does diet really affect periods or overall gynecological health?
Yeah, very much. So, nutrition plays an important role in the menstrual health overall. The energy levels, the symptoms that the woman experiences, and also the hormonal balance. For example, a lot of women who have iron deficiency anemia have low hemoglobin, and all of that leads to symptoms like dizziness, lack of energy, more absenteeism in school and colleges. So, yeah, nutrition is absolutely very, very important in terms of menstrual health.
Oh, okay. So, which all nutrients do you recommend that a woman should take?
So, one is, of course, a balanced diet wherein you eat all your proteins and microvitamins and all of that. But typically, for menstrual health, iron rich diet like beetroots, spinaches, figs, dates, pomegranates are superfood for your iron and energy levels on those days. Another important point is protein, because if you are feeling weak and unable to do a lot of things, if you have proteins, you get instant energy. Another great food for periods, which I usually recommend to my patients, is magnesium. So, low magnesium leads to increased symptoms like period cramps, low mood, depression, fatigue, multiple things. So, having food rich in high magnesium like seeds, nuts, dark chocolate, fish, all are very, very good for nutrition. Another thing that you could also have is calcium and vitamin D rich food. So all of this put together in a balanced way would definitely make the woman more, equipped on her period day. Another thing is, very importantly, you should not be missing meals. A lot of young girls would skip breakfast and run around the whole day, and that's not something that you should do, especially during your periods. Having your breakfast and all your meals on time would be very, very helpful in terms of your overall energy levels.
So, doctor, many women feel tired during their periods and they feel that it is normal. Is it right?
So, mild tiredness is okay. A lot of women experience that, but extreme tiredness, fatigue, dizziness can be signs of something more than just your normal periods. It can sometimes mean anemia, especially for women who have heavier periods. Then that requires investigations and proper evaluation. So, in these situations, going to your doctor and getting it checked, and maybe they would recommend you some supplements and also improve your diet and all of that. So, that is very important not to overlook these symptoms.
So, menstrual health is not only about managing periods but taking care of your body with proper nutrition, hygiene, and seeking medical advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doctor, another topic which women hesitate to discuss is about heavy bleeding. They feel that this is just how my periods are. So, how do we determine that the periods are heavier than usual?
So, heavy period is typically what affects a woman's daily life. Some signs for heavy periods would be if the woman has to change a pad every 1 to 2 hours. Women who are using menstrual cup typically know that the period should be, the quantity of blood should be less than 80 ml. So if it is more than that, then if they are passing big clots which are uncomfortable and obviously soaking up the pads, if they are getting tired, dizzy, breathless through the day, and of course anything that interferes with their daily life like their schools or colleges is not normal. A lot of women, like you correctly said, normalize this and live their life years on year, just normalizing this and living through this agony. So going to the right doctor and getting this evaluated is very, very important.
Doctor, what is abnormal uterine bleeding?
So abnormal uterine bleeding or AUBs, any deviation from the normal is abnormal uterine bleeding. That would include women who are bleeding for more than 7 days, so prolonged bleeding, any kind of bleeding in between your cycles, heavy bleedings, women who bleed after their menopause. Menopause is wherein your bleeding stops for a year, and if you have any kind of bleeding or spotting even after that, is not considered to be normal. Excessive pain during bleeding, all of this comes under the big bracket of abnormal uterine bleeding. Now, abnormal uterine bleeding usually is an indicator for certain medical conditions like thyroid issues, lifestyle, stress, adenomyosis, endometriosis, and now very commonly PCOD or PMOD that now routinely people are talking about. So all of these things need to be evaluated. The easiest and the best way to understand that there's a problem is keeping a period tracker. Once you keep a period tracker, you would know that you are off the normal, and that's when you can get help from your gynecologist.
So many women delay visiting a doctor because they think that it is normal after childbirth or normal with age.
So with age, at different stages of a woman's life, the period can look different. But any deviation, like we discussed in the previous question, if the periods are heavy or particularly painful, need to be evaluated. So going to your gynecologist, discussing this is very important. What is also very important is not to self-diagnose or Google your symptoms, because that would mean years of delayed diagnosis. So if you come in early, we can give you a better quality of life.
So doctor, apart from periods, what are the common gynecological concerns which should not get ignored?
So some of the most common ones would be the pelvic pain, vaginal discharge which can have itching or odor associated with it, bloating through the month, heavy cramping periods which can affect your day-to-day life, postmenopausal bleeding or spotting, extreme pain during intercourse, extreme fatigue or tiredness during periods. All of these symptoms, though may not necessarily indicate something serious, but are definitely worth observing and investigating.
Okay. Regular checkups matter too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the focus is shifted now from curative to preventive healthcare. Preventive healthcare is one of the most important. So I always tell this to my patients, not to visit me only during emergencies or when they are pregnant. Routine gynecological visits at least once a year would help diagnose nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalance early on, and overall help with keeping the reproductive health of the patient better rather than just emergency visits to us.
So doctor, let's do a quick fact versus myth round.
Sure.
Women should avoid bathing during periods.
It's a myth. Keeping hygiene during menstrual cycles is very important. In fact, having washing your hair during periods is also absolutely normal.
Severe pain is always normal.
Not always. So mild discomfort is okay, but anything which is quite severe would definitely require investigation.
Heavy periods are something women simply have to tolerate.
No, absolutely not. Heavy periods are usually a sign of some underlying issue which require a proper gynecological consultation and probably treatment.
Talking about periods openly is inappropriate.
Menstrual health is healthcare, period. Talking about periods reduces the stigma around it and overall improves awareness and health of the woman. So, no.
So before we wrap up, doctor, what is the one message you would like our listeners to remember?
So, in a woman's life, the period keeps changing as she transitions to different beautiful stages of her life. But any kind of an irregularity, especially if it's persistent, is sometimes a warning sign which needs investigation. Getting medical help, not feeling scared, shy, ashamed of it is very important. Menstrual health is very closely related to the overall health of a woman and of the society, which is why proper consultations, taking good care of your nutrition, hormonal balance is very important. So a routine checkup and probably awareness plays an important role in that.
Thank you so much, doctor. This was such a practical and informative discussion.
Thank you.
And to all our listeners, your health matters, your questions matter too, because seeking help is a sign of strength and not hesitation. This was Menstrual Hygiene Talks with Radio City. Stay healthy, stay informed, and keep the conversations flowing. Till then, take care and stay healthy.